From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Good morning, I'm Lena Pringle. This is your News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, November 1st. Expect dry air to quickly work back into our area to start the month of November. And expect some more sunshine. But those temperatures will still struggle to get into the mid-40s. But another good piece of news, the winds will also be much lighter than what we saw on Tuesday. Starting with I-teammate and the man accused in the Delphi murders case, Richard Allen. Allen's original defense team is out, blasted by the judge in a ruling that formally removes them from the case. Judge Francis Gould said in open court Tuesday that gross negligence from Allen's attorneys led to a leak of sensitive documents. Brad Rosie and Andrew Baldwin first withdrew from the case nearly 2 weeks ago over the leak, then later blamed Gould, claiming she coerced them into the decision. With Allen's new defense team in place, Gould set a trial date of October 15th, 2024. That's a delay of about 9 months from the original date. A local business owner is sharing her story after a weekend mass shooting at a Halloween party happened in a place she rents out. Now she claims her landlord has locked her out of her spaces. Takai is the owner of well-branded space rentals and says nothing like this has happened to her before. She says the person who initially rented the space followed policy to not host an event with minors, but says minors, some who were armed, soon crashed that party. The owner believes the alleged shooter opened fire when he was denied entry for wearing a ski mask. She says her business's future is in jeopardy after being locked out of 3 places where she has active leases. As we've reported, a 16-year-old died in Sunday's shooting and 9 others were injured. A Northwest Indianapolis fire has turned into a homicide case. Police say a man found at the scene had been shot and has now died. The fire happened yesterday morning in an apartment at 59th and Guyan Road. Pike Township firefighters found the man soon after they arrived and called police in to help. IMPD says homicide detectives and arson investigators are working together on the case. They have not released the man's name. Frankfort firefighters say no one is hurt after a large fire at the local high school. It happened in the football field press box at Frankfort Senior High around 9 yesterday evening. Investigators say no one was inside at the time. A cause for the fire is still under investigation. A local police department is urging parents to check trick-or-treat candy closely. Middletown Police in Henry County posted a parent found a small pill in a trick-or-treat bag and brought it to the police station. The pill given to us tested positive for methamphetamine. It goes on to say if you find something, don't handle it with your bare hands. Call the police department. New this morning, Palestinian authorities say 400 foreign nationals are now allowed to leave Gaza. Cameras rolled as dozens entered Egypt through the Rafah crossing this morning. It appears to be the first time anyone other than released hostages have been allowed to leave Gaza since the war started between Israel and Hamas. Communications are largely down in Gaza right now. An Israeli airstrike destroyed Gaza's largest refugee camp. Israel says it killed a top Hamas commander. Hospital officials in Gaza say the strikes also killed hundreds of refugees. Rescuers are now digging through the rubble to pull out survivors. Israeli officials say civilians should not be in that area. The White House says Secretary of State Antony Blinken is set to head back to Israel at the end of this week. Jack Lew is now the U.S. ambassador to Israel. The Senate confirmed his appointment yesterday with a 53-43 vote. He previously served as Treasury Secretary under President Barack Obama. Republicans criticized him for his role in the 2015 Iran nuclear deal. Lew promised Senate leaders he would stand with Israel. FBI Director Christopher Wray says anti-Semitism is reaching historic levels in the U.S. He spoke yesterday in front of the Senate as the war intensifies. Wray was joined by Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas. The two say the ongoing war has led to an increase in threats against Jewish, Muslim, and Arab American communities across the country. Wray issued a warning to the Senate saying the tensions in the Middle East could lead to attacks right here in the States. He says his agency is tackling this issue through Joint Terrorism Task Force, hate crime investigations, and intelligence sharing. To business headlines, college administrators continue to grapple with how to respond to pro-Palestinian demonstrations, and several institutions are reportedly facing pressure from powerful financial backers over what they see as insufficient condemnation of Hamas's attack on Israel. Cornell, Columbia University, Harvard University, and the University of Pennsylvania are all facing financial threats and direct cutoffs from influential donors. In all, the colleges could lose millions in donations. The use of freelancers is on the rise in the U.S. Now, Harvard Business Review says 20% of U.S. work is done by freelancers. The shift to freelancers allows firms to save on headcount and employee costs. Anheuser-Busch will focus its marketing on events like football and concerts, which it has targeted often in the past, as it looks to lift lagging sales of Bud Light. It's part of the company's strategy to avoid political backlash as declining Bud Light sales hit its bottom line. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Lena Pringle. Online at wishtv.com and like us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.